Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? Questions are good, but don't force them. Let them come from a place deep inside that really needs to change, something that will affect your spiritual life, your inner life. Does anyone have a question? I think this class in particular, having this class on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays, is really for me an amazing experience to be able to sit with people that are in so many different countries, over this thing somebody invented called Zoom. I think is amazing. And for the Shakti to be this strong, this powerful and deep. And hopefully it's not only helping me to grow, but it's helping every single person that attends these classes to grow. Deepening their inner life, giving them the energy. I mean, I always kid around and say, it's like, a car has to go to the gas station in order to run. And these meditation classes are like a place where you get petrol, Shakti, energy that helps you to run your life in a more conscious way, that builds a system inside that connects a human being with higher energy or God, or to put it another way, with energy that is infinite in the universe. There's no limitation to it. It's neither energy that's born or dies, it just always is. And, in this thing we call life, we cut ourselves off from it because we spend so much time in our minds and so much time in our emotions that it completely cuts us off from this energy which has no limitation. Once we connect with it, once we taste that energy and allow it to continue to nurture us deep inside, the whole system of a human being undergoes major transformation. The power to overcome illness, the power to overcome hindrances and encumbrances that keep us from being happy. It all manifests because we are connected not to the mind and the emotions and to all of that tension, but connected to what is infinite, God's infinite love, for every single human being, every creature, every plant, every, insect is part of that manifestation of the love of higher energy in the universe. And the best thing of all is we build an inner life that keeps us from messing it up, from interfering with it, from knowing better than it. And we just open and embrace that energy and let it really work on us, provide life. And that's all these classes are for, whether I do them in person or I do them online. It's the sole purpose of these classes. They're a filling station. It's called Shakti filling station. And we need that energy. I mean, when I first met Rudy, he always talked about, how people in the world were malnourished and starving to death. And he was talking a little bit about food and, all that kind of thing. But more importantly, he was talking about the spiritual malnourishment of people and how that leads to about 99% of the problems that exist in the world. And the classes are simply a place to get the energy that enables us to keep from being spiritually malnourished. We become children of God, you know? I mean, it almost sounds like a platitude, you know, trite, but it's true. And we become children of God because our consciousness is connected, you know, and our chakra system is connected to higher energy and is receiving that energy, you know, every day. And then it manifests in the world around us. Whatever we do becomes more sacred. And becoming more sacred, we don't want to do harm in the world, you know? Does anybody have a question they would like to ask?
You just spoke about animals. Part of my job is to raise them for consumption.
You
Is
have
that
to, I can't understand, you have to speak up a bit.
you talked about animals? An important part of my job is to raise those as good as possible for consumption. Is there an incompatibility between growth and providing food through living animals that do get killed for consumption?
I don't think so, Joe. I don't see in any way that there's an incompatibility between raising animals that provide food for people. You know, look, you can raise animals with chemicals, with this, with that, and it becomes poison for people. You raise animals, feeding them organic, whatever they eat, you know, and it becomes nourishment for people. It becomes something that gives life to people. So I don't see any problem with that. We all consume. We have to eat something, whether it's a plant or an animal. We have to eat something in order to live. And life is about, you know, look, I always used to laugh about forests, you know, jungles being, you know, huge restaurants for animals. They eat each other, you know, it's all about consumption. I mean, Rudy's book that he wrote, Spiritual Cannibalism, you know, I mean, consuming the energy of the universe. We also, every one of us, are consumed by the universe. So it's all about consumption. And if you raise animals and you do it with grass-fed beef or, you know, free-range chickens and organic this and organic that, you are providing healthy food for people. It's something wonderful.
Thank you.
And I am not in any judgment of whether people are vegetarians or they're, you know, meat eaters. I don't, you know, totally uninteresting to me. Everybody finds what they have to consume and they live their life that way. And I'm not here to judge anybody's food habits that they have. You know, because I don't know what's right or wrong. I mean, Tibetans eat meat. It's a spiritual society. You know, Indians eat vegetables, you know. What makes one any better than the other? And even if you plant vegetables, you got to mulch and provide nourishment for the vegetable. You get a tomato or you get some amazing tomato, you know, that you eat and it's healthy and it nurtures you. You get another tomato that can poison you. It all depends upon how people raise these things. So I think if you're doing that in a conscious way, it's just a wonderful gift to the world. I really mean that.
It's the only way I could do it.
I mean, I live in a household where everything's organic. And when Jennifer came to live here, you know, to kind of be my roommate here, you know, everything's organic. I eat everything. Organic chicken, organic fish, everything is organic. Vegetables. And I've gotten healthier because of this. I really have, you know, I've lost 20 pounds, maybe more. So I think today in the world, food is a lot different than it was 25 and 30 years ago. It really is. I mean, the stuff people make today, I never dreamed that would be in the marketplace many years ago. Does anyone else have a question? And just to finish this, it's not for me to judge. I mean, look, I have one rule in what I do, one rule, well, two rules, okay? One is, no drugs. And by drugs, I mean, dope, marijuana, LSD, all that stuff. Ayahuasca, whatever it's called, ayahuasca, all that stuff, that hallucinogenic stuff that does nothing but interfere with the flow of spiritual energy. It works in the same areas, except it just drains the life out of people. And the second one is, please don't move in the class. That's it. Those are my rules. Because moving disrupts the energy of the class. If it's inorganic moving, it's Kriya, if it's that's one thing. But if it's inorganic movement, it really disrupts the class. As far as what people eat, what their sexual preferences is, I am totally uninterested, It's not my business. And all of these things change anyway, so I'm not here to sit in judgment of anybody. Does anyone else have a question? I just have an announcement to make. I don't know if you all know, but I've been posting blog things about once a week on my website, and some of them are really interesting. If you haven't seen them, I suggest that you go there. They're short, and they might inspire you in certain ways, the kind of things I've written. And I'm enjoying writing these things. It's kind of fun for me to do. I like to write. I don't want to write novels anymore. It's too much work at this point in my life. But these things are really fun to do. And they're interesting, And the second thing is that, well, this doesn't concern most of you because people live in the Middle East, they live in Europe, live in Brazil. But I am doing in-person classes again. And it started last Saturday and every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you happen to live in the neighborhood or you want to come to New York, there will be in-person classes for you to attend. If you come from out of town, every day you're here in New York, I will have a class for you, and possibly even two. If you're staying in a hotel somewhere and it costs a bunch of money to get here, et cetera, et cetera. So if anyone's interested in that, I am doing this again. I stopped doing it because of COVID, but I am doing it again. The only thing I ask from people is that they test themselves before they come to where I live. Not that you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. I'm not interested in that. But just the day that you come here, you test yourself and you don't bring COVID into my life, because I will test myself also. And that's my only interest, because, whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, people get COVID today. I got COVID twice, and I've been vaccinated with boosters. So that I'm not into, but I'm just interested in that people do test themselves before they come here, every day that they come here. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I mean, whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, that's for your own protection. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask? Okay. Again, maybe you're all tired of this, but I'm not. I'm very grateful to every single person. I always say it, and I'll say it again. Every one of you is my teacher. Your presence here is helping me to grow spiritually. And I'm just very grateful to be able to sit here and do this work with everybody, because it's really giving me a much deeper inner life. It's making me struggle with things that are so deep inside myself that I know that at this point of separating whatever separation there is between me and spiritual enlightenment. And your presence here is really demanding that I do this. So God bless you all. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday, and have a wonderful evening or day.
Thank you.